Hello, hello. So every night, my mom and me watch this show called Anupama. It's an Indian show, and my mom made me watch it. And it is about a lady who has been married for 25 years, three kids, haven't received much education, got married straight out of high school, has been a dedicated wife and a mom, everything that you can ask
Mm-hmm.
for. And turns out she learns on her 25th anniversary that her husband has been having an affair with someone else for 9 years.
And then,
They did a build up on that, like she trusts her husband 100% and fights for
mm,
him and blah blah blah. And the husband is actually ashamed of her because she's not educated and she cooks
oh,
and she's, that typical housewife. Like she doesn't dress well and she from her clothes he
mm,
can smell the spices or whatever, all the negative that he can
mm,
think of. And he meets this girl at his work and she's like educated, modern, and all of that. And he falls in love with her and has having an extramarital affair for 9 years. And so dramatic of the television. His wife finds out on the anniversary day in their
mm.
bedroom the guy is actually trying to
Oh my
sleep with the
God.
woman. Such a dramatic thing.
What?
Yeah, he was. I know it's
Jesus Christ.
it was pretty crazy. But she asked for a divorce, and she divorces his
Mm,
ass, and now she is building herself up, getting a job. She loves to
mm,
dance, so she opened a dance academy, and she teaches cooking in school because she's cooked her whole life for her family. So she's using her skills
mm.
to get money, get job, and go ahead in life. So it's a very woman empowering show, and that's why my mom and we kind of love watching it. But that kind of
Yeah,
started a big conversation is to normalize divorces in India.
yeah.
So let's just first introduce ourselves. You're listening to Round Up by Society. This is Kushbu, and
And this is Pritika.
we like to discuss and question things that are going around us and in our society on everyday basis. This week we'll be discussing the stigma around divorces and that divorces should be normalized in our society for our own well-being. And this topic started, uh, as I said, when I was watching this show, and I felt like uh, how still there is such a big issue with someone saying we don't love each other anymore, we don't want to stay with each other,
Mm,
and we are deciding to go on our separate ways. And even that
mm,
small idea of even consensual divorces are not acceptable.
mm,
Leave,
mm,
all that complicated divorces. This is where both people agree they are not good for each other and they don't want to stay together
mm.
and be unhappy and make the whole family unhappy. And still people are like, no, but you have three kids. You have stayed together for 25 years. Just give it time. Just stay together. You can make it happen. Like,
This makes me think about, when Amir Khan and his wife, they were gonna get divorced, and everybody was like, "What? What's gonna happen?"
oh my
Or
fucking
even, I
god.
think Malaika Aurora Khan, like she was gonna get divorced, and she was
Yeah.
like questioned about it. So yeah, that
Yeah.
like this reminds me of like these people, and even like Amir Khan actually like wrote out a post on it, like we're just letting you guys know that we will always be a family, we'll always be there for each other, but we thought it was better to go separate ways and be happier.
Dude, I don't even know the real
Yeah.
truth. After Amir Khan said that, I believe they were pointing towards a younger actress who worked with him in one of the films and were like, she is the reason they're getting
Mm.
divorced. And I'm like, why
Oh
are you
my
doing
God,
this?
I don't know about that.
Why are you destroying that poor
Why
girl's
can't they
life?
just go their separate ways? It's marriage is like when two people come together and they can go like separate ways. It's not always gonna be the same when you first get married. It's things happen, people evolve, and they might not evolve in the same direction. They might
Yeah.
evolve in different direction.
People's priority changes, their behavior changes, people,
Yeah.
that's that. And also when they're blaming this random lady, I'm like, but the guy also, even if it was true, you know how in the TV series I'm talking
Mm.
about they had 9 years affair. I'm like, it was
Mm.
the guy is not the girl to be blamed, that extramarital, like the third woman or whatever. She is not to be blamed. It's the guy. If you think that is a
Yeah.
bad thing, the
Yeah.
guy was committed to his wife, not the second lady, and he chose to not respect the marriage and have a relationship behind her back, behind his wife's back, and it's his fault, not the woman. She is not a home wrecker. It's him who wrecked his own fucking home. And there are women as well. I'm not saying only husbands cheat. A lot of women cheat. A lot of husbands are busy. It happens. A lot of husbands are busy in their businesses, in their lives, and they get tired and they don't have the capacity in their day to give the same love and affection to their wives, 10 years, 15 years in their marriage. And sometimes their
Yeah.
wives feel the love is there, but they need that physical affection, and that's
Connection.
connection
Yeah, and
with
affection.
someone. And that's when
Yeah.
they also like go and have extra affairs, and they don't love that person. They just want that someone
Yeah.
to cuddle or someone to hug
Yeah.
or something. Just have
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Like
And
someone who is beside them physically.
yeah, yeah. And things happen like that. I'm not saying they're okay to happen. Of course, you should talk to your
Yeah.
husband like, hey,
Yeah.
you're feeling ignored and blah, blah, blah. I feel
Yeah.
like you should first see if you want to go to your separate ways or what you want to do with it, or have an open relationship. That's a big thing these days. People are actually having more
Yeah.
conversations about if you are not fulfilling all the requirements of your partners, you can have open relationships and be secure in your thing that, hey, we are, ride and die, we'll be husband and wife our whole life in this partnership, but we'll have an open relationship for the times you feel need to be someone else, or have another person in the relationship who fills that gap in their thing. And there is therapy. So if people really want to work the relationship, obviously communication is the key, but there are times
Yeah.
that it's miserable, like, and divorce is a way that you can have peace in your mind. Obviously there are some divorces that happen because of physical abuse or mental abuse. Mental abuse is not even counted in abuse right now in India. Like, that's the worst part. Like physical abuse, yeah, you have like scars on your body that you can show to people, that people would acknowledge a little bit. But I have heard people say ek thappad hi tumhara, like he just slapped you once, like just forget. I think they made a
Yeah.
movie, there was a movie called Thappad or something, like a slap on the
Yes.
face, and it was
Yes.
about,
Yeah.
I think her husband slapped her and she just left the house and she wanted to separate, and everyone explained to her, oh, it was just a slap, and he's like, how
Yeah.
dare he
Like this
slapped
is
me, like,
hota hi to hai,
it
like
happens,
it's normal,
it's
it
normal,
happens, like
yeah,
every woman has has had some gotten
gotten
some slap
slapped
from their
or
husbands.
something, yeah,
It's like every marriage. Yeah.
yeah, and she
And
pretty
you're being
much,
like too dramatic to like
yeah,
leave.
oh yeah, it's dramatic to take such a big action, like, how can you
Yeah.
stand up for yourself? I feel like it's, if she's standing up for herself, her dignity and everything, people just be like, "Oh, how are you putting this relationship above yourself? You, like, how can you be so selfish of thinking yourself more than this relationship?" I'm like, "Bitch, that husband didn't respect me over this relationship. Like,
Yeah.
he he
Yeah.
he he just slapped me, thinking I, like, not slapped me, but like slapped the
I would
girl,
just
like." She was just there, like, just
yeah.
got like a little
Yeah.
taken away with it. But what I mean to say is, and in that movie there was a pretty good dialogue. It's
And
like,
another like
sorry,
yeah. You go on.
no, in that movie there was a pretty good dialogue saying, how dare he even slapped, how dare he, like, if he was going through something, like, but how dare he slapped, and that's the point, how dare he. But yeah, you were saying something.
It ends in a good way, like saying that, kind of explains that girls are taught to not raise their like opinions, like or like jump back at the guys. They should always like be in this cage, and it I recommend people watching it. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Another movie I wanted to mention was it's called Dil Dhadakne Do. Have you watched it?
I have heard about it. No, I have not watched it.
Okay. So Priyanka Chopra plays this character who is really ambitious and really successful,
Yeah.
and then but she wants a divorce.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention this one scene where so her father is like, "Why are you doing this to us?"
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
divorce is like, why are you doing this to us? Divorce has never happened in this family, and it would never happen. I would never let it happen. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is really common. I mean, women are seen as like, when they say they want divorce, they are being selfish, and
I think even a
it's not
guy
good for the family.
in that situation, even
Yeah.
either of them, even a guy or a girl, both of them, whoever is asking for a divorce is like, how dare you? What will people say? How could you? This is two families you're separating.
But there's also like a difference between men and women divorcing, because women has have all these like issues of like we've talked about, like accusations, character assassinations, and it's harder for women to move with the divorce rather than men,
Yeah.
because men can like easily move on, like
Yeah.
get married, remarried again, and they are not seen as, you know, this.
I think just because, like, if a guy asks for divorce, this is what I have heard in the with aunties and uncles. It's like if they hear a guy is asking for divorce, they straight away go, the girl wasn't able to keep him happy. Like she did the drama
Yes.
in the family and she wasn't able to. And if a
Yeah.
girl asks for divorce, it's like, why? She could have tried harder. Or like she could have given another
Yeah.
chance.
All of this like responsibility of marriage lies upon the woman.
Yeah, yeah. And to keep it together as well, like that's why I said if a husband breaks it, it's her fault. If she breaks it, it's her fault. Like, where is she meant to go?
Everything is her fault.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Especially with these like cultural things where girl is when they get married, they're a thing and they are given to another family,
Oh my
and
fucking
now
God.
like, you know, you are a part of that family.
So I don't know about other religions. We're talking about Hinduism, right?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So and so they're like sexualized, they're a thing, they're a property of first the father and then the partner.
Yeah.
And when a girl decides to get divorced,
Yeah.
she's got nowhere to go because her family is like, don't come here, like, you know, there will be shame upon this family, and she can't of course like stay with her husband's family, so where is she meant to go?
Yeah, so
And I guess like that's the point where we spoke about in this previous podcast about like independence, financial independence, that comes into play a lot.
yeah. Like financial education, and it makes the woman more independent and be able to take a decision for herself without worrying
Yeah.
if she has somewhere to go. With regarding that, like the language parents use is so funny. So I was talking to my mom about this, and I was like, so when the girl is at her mom's place, like her parents' place, it's like, so when are you going to your home? So your home becomes your husband's home now. Once you're married.
Oh my god, yes.
So once you're married,
Yes.
the words they use is like, yeah, she's here for a few days and then she'll go to her own house. So she's treated as a guest at her parents' house. And then when she is at her husband's house, they're like, oh, so now you're at your husband's house. So even when I said it, I don't know how to describe her when she gets married, her house. Like, even though it should be said her house, but it's pretty much like that's her husband's house. this is her parents' house. So she's never given her house. It's never her house eventually. And even that psychologically is so affecting. Like, if she wants to stand up for herself, where should she go? There is no room she can go and be angry. That's her husband and her room. She can't, like, especially if you're living in a joint family, can you ask your husband to sleep on the sofa? Can you imagine that? Like, if you're so
Yeah,
angry,
yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
you're not sleeping in this room
yeah.
tonight. Can you imagine, like, that happening? I don't know. When we were talking about the reasons of divorcing, there is this mental abuse that's not talked about enough, and not recognized soon enough. That, gaslighting, and making people just getting tortured mentally, and then there is no proof
Yeah.
outside. And if a girl is asking that this is a toxic person, I do not want to live with him, then people are like, what's wrong? And you want to explain to people that he makes you crazy, that he makes you feel you are crazy, or he makes you feel, even as small as making you feel shit about your body, it's bad. Like, I can tell you,
Yeah.
in the sense, like, because I am on a healthier side, I have felt that torture when I was younger, in my teenage years, when my cousin is, if I stepped on my cousin's foot, he's like, oh, bhari si chad gayi, or like, heavy, a heavy
Oh
person
my
or
god.
something, heavy
Yeah.
person climbed on me. I don't, it sounds better in Hindi, but like, he like comments like this. And I've heard, like, people joking about, if you sat on me, you'll break me, or a husband is teasing you even for fun that way. It's not good for you. People are like, oh, you can't take a joke. I'm like, joke has to be funny, not mean. If you're
Yeah.
just being mean,
Yeah.
it's not a
It's
joke.
not about, like, joke isn't about making fun of someone.
Yes, you need to be funny. You need to make crack. You can't comment on someone's shape or a body or something. What I mean to say is, like, even some making someone feel insecure about themselves. If you don't have a husband or a partner who doesn't, like, pump you up, make you feel nice and pretty even when you feel the shittiest, he's not worth it. Like, he shouldn't be the one who is making you feel shit. He should be the one, when everyone is making you feel shit, he's the one who's making you feel better. And this annoys me when someone demands, like, this is not the right person for me, I don't want to live with him. And people are like, what? But he has money, he's so rich, he has given you all the comfort in the world, he takes you to trips every year, and we wish we were in your place. And it's like, you don't understand. My self-respect and my mental health is more important than that fucking money.
It's also about, like, girls' upbringing. I mean, it's got to do everything with the upbringing. They don't even think that divorce is an option because they always think, like, marriage is like once in a lifetime and you stay with this person for eternity. Like, even after death, you'll be with this person, or like janam janam ka rishta sort of thing.
So, with the Jaram Jaram, like, that the lifelong relationship, nobody gets getting married thinking they will get divorced one day. Only scammers do. The scammers who want to scam the guy for their money is the one. But other people don't marry that way. But it's good to know your options. It's good to know, if one day something happens that makes you think that this relationship is not healthy for you, there are options like therapy, there are options like, even before divorce, there is a lot of things you can do. And even if after all of that the marriage can't be saved, then of course divorce is still an
I
option.
get so, like, angry when people are like, when people ask, like, are you sure you're gonna do this? I mean, not in my, like, I've heard people, like, saying that people keep
Yeah.
asking, are you sure you wanna do this? Or like, don't do this. Have you thought about everything else? I guess, like, divorce is the last step. Like, you've done everything, you've
Yes.
tried everything, and then it's the last step. Sorry,
No,
I
no,
cut you
no,
off,
no,
but
no. Like,
yeah.
I get it because, and I think they ask more from to the girl because she, in usual cases, she is dependent on the guy for finances, for everything, and they know after the divorce, the guy would go on his way. There would be people talking, but not much. And as I said, a lot of people will blame it on the girl, and but the girl would be left to take on a lot of blames and a lot of these, like, oh, she's a
Yeah,
divorcee.
yeah.
I have known a lot of girls who have relocated, left the country to avoid people just to get a peace for their
Mind,
mind
yeah,
and grow, and they're flourishing
yeah.
there. It's not like they're suffering there. They met another guy, got married, have two
Yeah.
kids.
I think it's also about this, like, what will people say? It's not only like you,
Yeah,
yeah, of course, like parents ask the girl or the guy, like, what are people gonna say if you're gonna get divorced? It's like mentally as well, because you've been brought up that way. Like, what are the neighbors gonna think about you? So I guess, like, once you move on,
but
you will, like, kind of get out of this society and flourish that way.
yeah, but with divorces, the person has to think just about themselves, because if they thought about everyone else around it, they will never be happy,
Yeah.
because they will think about their parents. They're like, oh my god, my parents have to hear so many of these rude comments. What I've heard is they want to talk more, dig more. What I've seen is, oh, so why did divorce happen? Oh, what did they do? Oh, अरे बड़ी दुख की बात है. It's very very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But they kind of ask again and again. Even if you're told them once, they will ask again just to get new scoop and stuff. It's like, we are not a gossip column. We are not giving you any gossip about, this is our life. We are going through this. Another aspect about normalizing divorces is it can also show kids that you can have a healthy relationship even after a
Yeah.
divorce. It doesn't mean staying in marriage is a healthy relationship, because traditionally that's what it's taught to kids. Is like, you get, when we were talking about, like, you get married, this is for your life, but it's not practical.
Yeah.
People used to stay married. Men used to have multiple wives. uh there used to be sister wives or whatever they called. People need to understand there was a different generation, but today, um, people have more education. They know what is healthy, what is
Yeah.
not. They don't, they are like YOLO.
Yeah. They're also, like, financially educated and earning themselves.
Financially educated. They know that if they want to live a good life, they need to choose their expenses, not have many kids,
Yeah.
um, provide better life to their kids. And when I said YOLO, so pretty much not spending time being miserable when they don't
Yeah,
need to.
definitely. And regarding these kids, isn't it better for kids to have like, rather than being brought up in an environment which is toxic and where there are a lot of fights, like, isn't it better for them to have, like, two different homes, but there are both, like, happy homes, rather than just, like, one
Yeah.
which is gonna affect them mentally.
And that's what I wanted to say. Like, they can show they can have healthy relationship. They are happy. They're happy to be
Yeah.
friends, even after a divorce. You can understand each other even better. I've heard, like, a lot of people actually understand their partners better when they're not in a relationship, and understanding not like sexually obviously, but like as friends, and they are able to co-parent better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Divide responsibilities in a better way.
Like, lead independent
And
lives, but still provide for your kids. Provide as in, like, we're together in this. We can have two separate lives, but when we're bringing our children up, we are gonna come together. Divorces also affect the family, because they put, like, family in a like, it's not only about, like, judgment towards the women or the men who are divorced, but it's also about the family, how society perceives the family. they suffer as well.
Yeah, they question the family. Yeah, like why are they supporting? They are the elders. They should know better. Like these are kids. They don't know what they're doing, but the elders should have the
Mm.
matureness to take the right decision, and they blame it on them, but it's like you don't know the whole
Yeah.
story, and you literally don't.
Yeah.
So all these fucking society people coming and commenting on this, like, first of all, we are not going to like lay all of our inside stuff to you. Who the fuck are you? And second of all, stop commenting on when you don't know the full
Yeah.
story. And when people are like, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't, who are you to
Yeah.
say? Will you be there if something goes
Yeah.
wrong? Will you be there to support? Will you
Will
give
you?
you will you
Yeah.
be there to give me a
Yeah.
shelter or
Yeah.
money or
Yeah.
job or anything? Like, you are not the one. So just stop being like that. Like, stop making like assumptions like, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
So basically, we just wanted to say it's like high time for our society to end the stigmas around divorce.
Gradually start accepting divorces as the new normal and a new healthy way for couples to live in the future. If you liked our topic for this week and would like someone else to listen to this podcast and know more about this topic, please feel free to share. Also, if you have any thoughts regarding this topic and would like to suggest a new one for the future, please feel free to comment, discuss, or DM us or any of our social media platforms.
We are Browned Off by Society for Facebook, YouTube, and Insta, and Brown Society for Twitter. Or email us at brownedoffbysociety@gmail.com. Also, if you would like to know more about today's topic, head on to our Insta and Facebook. And finally, thank you for listening to us today, and see you next time. Bye!